use a compressor. Hang on. Compressor. Okay. Now, I don't think it did much. Let me do another one maybe. Is that better? Is that... I don't want to make it too terribly loud. Maybe I'll up the gain a little. How's that? I haven't done one of these in a long time. Oh, I should rotate the microphone. Sorry. I forgot that I should have the mic this way. Let me recalibrate a little bit. Okay. Hi, everybody. I haven't done an ASMR stream in a long time. I feel like you guys might be really straining to hear me. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check real quick. I mean, I need it pretty loud in order to be heard. So let me see. Maybe I'll up the gain. You hear me fine? On my end, I need to be at like 78. I worry that that's quite a bit. Also, I don't have chat on stream because this isn't a chat-heavy stream today. This is just... I want to do some ASMR. I have some tools with me that I'm gonna use. And my AC just went on. Let me see if I can turn that off 1 second. It's making a creaking noise that I don't love. Hang on. Oh wow, okay, hold up. I need to turn off some of my settings because some of this is going to interfere with the noise I was hearing just now. Some noise cancellation stuff. So, okay, it should be a little bit more consistent now. Sorry. Sorry for the scuff. I'll update the description. But always your Alice. I am reisaforte, and we are doing ASMR tonight. I usually do like oh don't worry, I'm a yapper. Oh, you know what? I mean, I'll use this in a sec. I'm just using my fingers on the microphone right now. I usually do like comedy ASMR, but I can do regular ASMR too. Let me know if anything like cuts out in the audio. I think it should be fine. Because I only have gain, compressor, equalizer, a limiter, so shouldn't be too bad. But today, or I suppose tonight, not only am I late, I am gonna be I have these makeup brushes. I intend on using them on my face, but they're brand new, and I haven't used them yet, so I'm going to, let me get this out. I'm gonna whisper positive affirmations, because I know, like, as far as I go, I can't speak for you guys, but as far as I go, I have been stressed lately about a lot of different things. So, I've been seeking out especially since I think you guys kind of like my ASMR here on YouTube, so you know, I figured I'll try. I usually stream on Twitch, for those of you who don't know, but I don't do ASMR on Twitch or anything. Not really. There's like, oh my god, there's like a speck. Okay, did I get it? There was like a speck in this brush. It's a Real Techniques brush. And for anyone curious, this is a Rode NT1 Signature Series brush. Or not brush, excuse me, what the fuck? Mic. I want to lull you guys to sleep because if I have an ASMR stream that's kind of long, like at least an hour, then I can get watch hours, right? And the more watch hours I get, the closer I get to monetization. And I like money. And I'm sure you do too. Everybody's after that bag. And we will work towards our goals and get that bag, motherfucker. We'll get our dues, you know? I know, like, you know, I've been stressed out about work a lot because I have a regular job. I'm just a part-time idol right now. I wish I could do VTubing full-time, but it's very difficult to break into this industry. It's, I don't want to say the word competitive. It is competitive, but I don't like to think of it that way because to me, your biggest competition is yourself. You know what I mean? Just because something is working for someone doesn't mean that you have to follow the same path or that same path is destined for you. It's okay to have your own story and to go at your own pace. That's okay to do. But my real life job has been a little stressful because it isn't really the best fit for me. It's alright. It's, you know, it's whatever. A lot of it has to do with graphic design. And let me tell you, graphic design is not my passion. So I'm trying to see about getting a different job at the same company. And I think, you know, I had a meeting today about it. It wasn't like an interview or anything, but it was kind of like that. It was a meeting, and it sounds like they're going to help me get a position that I would be better at. So hopefully, you know, hopefully that will work out for me. And I'm hoping that whatever you guys are doing works out for you too. We're all working hard. It's not easy to make a living. You work to live, not live to work in most cases. And it's okay to not love your job as long as there are other aspects of life that you love. And if life's hard for you right now, that's only temporary. The bad times make life assume that somebody else is going to come to your rescue. You need to be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think you can do it. It's not easy, but it's satisfying to really try your best and see your efforts pay off. Because they will pay off eventually. Think about all of the celebrities who didn't become famous until their 50s. For example, I don't remember exactly, but I think that Alan Rickman didn't get his first film role until his late 40s or something. And he was in Harry Potter, for those of you who don't recognize the name immediately. That's his big famous role. Oh, fuck, I keep this mic has these little, it's got this stand. And it's metal and I keep hitting it with the brush. Let me get a different brush. This one's kind of big. What if I did the two little-ish ones? These things were made with bitches who have nails in mind, I think. I do not have nails. I have nails, but I bite them. What if I do this? This one has kind of a blunt edge. And this one's fluffy. The week is almost over. It's almost the weekend. It is, as of this stream, or at least for me right now, it is Wednesday night. There's always crackling noises because my desk, I think, needs more support, but I don't see any cracks in it yet, so I don't really give a shit. If this week has been stressful, just know that it's almost done, and that next week is a new week. You might come across some new challenges, but you're gonna overcome them. You've gotten through everything in the past, so who's to say you're not gonna get through everything in the future? I've had my own fair share of different types of hardships, but it's when I thought things were the worst, things got worse, but I'm okay right now, Everything always got better. Even if things get worse, you just have to remind yourself, okay, well, they get better too, Nothing's really permanent. Even tattoos can get removed. It takes a lot of time and costs a lot of money, and I hear is extremely painful, but you can remove them, as long as you haven't murdered anybody, I think you're gonna be okay. And if you have, I highly suggest you don't stick around. I don't necessarily endorse that. This might be controversial, I'm pretty anti-murder. I don't know how to do, positive affirmations without sounding cheesy. I'm not I've never been, a GFE kind of person. And not that you not sitting there like, oh my god, they're talking to me personally. But it's more like they're saying things that I need to remind myself of. And I think that's valid. So that's kind of the way that I'm treating it. It's like, hey man, I don't know your situation. I don't know what's going on in your life. But I'd like to think that you're not a terrible person. And I'd like to think that you are trying your best. And, you know, yeah, I don't know your situation. I can't tell you personally that I'm proud of you. But, in my opinion, a stranger who doesn't know that much about you or your personal life, their word shouldn't be gospel anyway. If you're at a stream and it's like, you know, if you're watching someone that has 1,000 people watching and they're saying, I'm proud of you, I'm sure that they are, but you should take what they're saying and use it to remind yourself that you need to be proud of yourself. You know, you didn't, like, you can say, like, I don't know, it's like, I don't want people to say, like, oh, hang on, there's like a, oh my god, there's like a crumb on this. I want to get my tweezers, but, it's on my bed, and I don't want to go over there right now, but there's like this weird crumb on my microphone, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I like can't get it. Actually, maybe I have tools that I can use. I think I can use this. I think it's fine. But it's like, if listening to your favorite VTuber say that they're proud of you helps you get through a difficult time, that's awesome. But I don't want you to ever forget that, like, they didn't get you through that hard time. You got yourself through that hard time. You're the one that put in the work. You know? Oh my god, this is like glue. That's why it's weird. Holy shit. It's like an adhesive glue. Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, just like, I don't think that we generally give ourselves enough credit. And, you know, we give too much credit to people who, don't really know us. And, you know, again, I don't want to make it sound like, you know, your Oshis don't care about you or that, you know, there's anything like that. Konbanwa, yokoso. Gomennasai, 英語です。私の日本語はめちゃくちゃ下手です。でも頑張ります。本当に勉強したい。でも時間がない。でもようこそ。ようこそ。For those watching the VOD, we had someone's join who is Japanese, so I wanted to welcome them. But anyways, don't think that your Oshi doesn't care about you, because they do. But obviously it's impossible to know everybody's individual situation or individual story. So when people do positive affirmations, it's always got to be really general in order to soothe as many people as possible, you know? So it's like they can help you, but they cannot fight that's nothing to sneeze at, you know? You should be proud of yourself for shit like that. I don't think that that's cringe, you know? Like, let me tell you guys about, there's different hard times that I've gone through, but let me think of one to share as an example. It's difficult because so much of it is very personal, you know? Sometimes, you know, there are things that I want to keep to myself, right? But I think so I think I've thought of one. So over the years, I'm sure that a lot of you guys can relate. I had a difficult time in school. I was, this is, how do I put this? This is a little embarrassing to admit. I'm gonna bring the mic a little bit closer. This is a little bit embarrassing to admit, but when I was in, oh Jesus, my microphone is too heavy. My mic stand isn't very good. Oh Jesus, oh my God, it constantly slips. Anyways, this is a little embarrassing to admit, but when I was in high school, I was very, very tsundere, unironically. I wasn't like acting like that on purpose, but I'm like, my family moved towns when I was like between 3rd and 4th grade, and from like 5th grade onwards, I just started to have a lot of friendship troubles because the kids in my area, like, we were all the same age, you know, we were in the same grade and everything, but they were just much older than me in different ways. You know, I was a 9-year-old and I wanted to play with Barbies still. And my peers were like too good for that, you know? So, you know, I had a lot of trouble making good friends because, compared to so many people, like even going into high school, I was considered a very sheltered person. Like, I remember I had a friend who told me, like, she was like into My Chemical Romance, right? And this was middle school. Because they were still together at the time before they reunited. But she was into MCR, and a lot of our mutual friends were into MCR. And I asked her about it, and she said to me, you know, Reisa, I think that the subject matter that they sing about would be really upsetting to you. I don't think you should listen to them. And so I wouldn't. And so I didn't listen to them until college. Which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy. But it's true, you know. I was that kind of person, and so a lot of people didn't fuck with me. Because they thought I was like a dork loser. And, you know, me being into, like, at the time I was into anime and stuff, and that wasn't cool. was the only person in the whole school. I mean, like, certainly of the seniors, I was the only person to dress up for Halloween. I was Yuki Cross from Vampire Night. Mind you, this was 2016. But, you know, point is, I had a lot of friendship troubles. I was not very understood by my peers. And so, I never, like, acted with the intention of being tsundere. But I just kind of was, because, I'm a very sensitive person, and I'm a very emotional person, and I didn't want to get my feelings hurt anymore. I would be really, really bothered when, like, things didn't go right with friends. I had issues with friends online and in person, to varying degrees, you know. And what helped me a lot was video games. I remember, you know, like, some really toxic friends actually introduced me to Fire Emblem, and when that friendship fizzled out, I was still able to enjoy Fire Emblem, and it helped me feel like I had friends, you know, because I just loved the characters so much, and there were always new conversations to discover. But the reason I tell this story is because Fire Emblem didn't get me, like, I didn't get over the losses of my friendships with those people just because of Fire Emblem. I got over it because I was able to push myself to persevere. I would see those people at school, and it, like, I was able to minimize the sting. You know what I mean? I was able to say to myself, it's okay to rely on this. And, you know, I don't know, it's like, Fire Emblem didn't fight my battle for me. I did. And I think the same can be said for any of you. When there's something that is stressing you out, or something that happened that is upsetting to you, the only person that can fight your battles for you, truly, at the end of the day, is going to be you. And I think you can. You can have tools to help you. Hang on, I have to burp. Oh my god. Excuse me, I'm sorry if the mic picked that up. I'm generally kind of a burpy person. But, you know, I feel like your Oshi can help you. But it's like, as vtubers who, you know, when someone thinks of us as like their Oshi and they're going through a hard time, I kind of like to think we're like the support party members in your life's RPG, or we're like a summon, you know? Like, I guess, like, you can use a summon to win a battle, but it's still your battle. You're still the one that gets EXP. You're still the one that levels up. We never stop growing. We never stop, like, learning new things about the world, about other people, about ourselves. There's so much that we don't know, and I don't think that you should ever blame yourself for not knowing what you don't know. I think that there's a big difference between ignorance and just genuinely not being aware of something, you know? I've had people, like, get mad at me for things in the past if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're in trouble for not knowing something, just remember, it's not your fault for not knowing. Because how are you supposed to know that you were supposed to know? Like, obviously there's like a limit. You know, if you don't study for an exam, you're gonna probably get in trouble for not knowing the stuff because you knew that you were supposed to know the shit on the exam. But I'm talking about, like, if somebody is mad at you, but they didn't tell you that they were mad at you, and, like, you didn't notice any signs of them being mad at you, and then they're more mad that you didn't try to fix it. That sounds like a really specific example, but I feel like that's honestly pretty general. I feel like I've experienced that with different types of people, and I think other people have experienced that as well. And it's just like, you don't know what you don't know. So, just remind yourself that that's okay. Like, obviously, like, we all need to continue working on ourselves. I think that self-improvement is a journey that never ends. But you also have to, like, cut yourself some slack. Like, everything's got a limit. So, you know, whatever. It's all our first life, you know? It's not like we're hitting New Game Plus on life. We don't know. And, again, this shit's hard. It's not easy being alive and, trying to navigate. Sometimes we feel happy, sometimes we feel sad, sometimes we get angry, sometimes things go our way, sometimes they don't. But you have to keep pushing because it's just like, I know for me, like, when times are really tough, I like to think of it as just being another chapter in my Wikipedia page. You know, I'm in the early life section of my Wikipedia page. I'm building my backstory. And I think you are too. And I think that your story's gonna be really interesting. You know? There's no such thing as a boring life. Well, that's not true. My cousins are really fucking boring. But those are also people who don't have any, like, hardship. And they are very selfish people. I'm talking about people who, like, have personalities and stuff. How do we feel about the brush, everybody? Is the brush, like, soothing at all? I like it personally. I think it's nice. I don't have, like, one of those fancy ASMR mics, so there's only so much that I can do. If I it's just not my personality. I don't know. It's so weird. I love like super girly ASMR. I love like you know, really like cutesy stuff. I like voices where they're more anime like, you know, where they do this and shit like that. It sounds weird, but what gets me is the ear blowing, scratching, soft talking about hobby stuff, or talking about super obscure accidental ASMR. I generally like pretty like intentional ASMR. I really love mouth sounds, but I'm not good at making them. I don't really know how people do all that. Like, I feel like it sounds silly when I do it. I don't know how to do it and like not sound really like weird. Like I don't think that's that good. But yeah. Have you seen those ladies talk about gem therapy? Lord have mercy. You mean like crystals? No opinion really. I know that a lot of people believe in healing crystals, and I'm like, hey man, if you're not hurting anybody, then I think that that's fine. You know? What do I care? That's the other thing too, with positive affirmations. Like, I think whatever hobbies that you have, as long as you're not hurting anybody or yourself, like, if anybody gives you a hard time about what you like, fuck them, you know? Like, as long as what you like is not contributing to harm to anyone, any person, any animal, any group of people, or yourself, then like you're free to do whatever you want, you know? Like, who cares? Life is so short. It's not worth it to try to like pretend to be cool your whole life. I know that sure as hell didn't work for me. I actually in college was in a sorority, which I think that's hard for people to maybe imagine. Because I'm not the personality type for it. And guess what? That is so true. I have one friend from my sorority, but the thing is, even though she's only a year older than me, she's in a very, very different life stage. She's married, has been for like a year or two now. She's working on medical stuff. I know her husband's in medical school, and they've been trying to have a baby. And I'm just like, wow, that's great. I am not at all in the same bracket of life as you are. And that's okay, you know, I don't have any problem with that. But, you know, when I was in the sorority, I joined it because I wanted to make friends, because I was at a very, like, let's just say it was difficult to make friends at my school unless you were in Greek life. And so my sophomore year I did it, and a lot of the houses on my campus rejected me because I was too old. 19 was too old, I guess. And in their eyes I was ugly. accepted me, I still didn't really make friends because they were very judgmental about what I wanted to do with my time. I'd go to parties with them, and they'd all throw a big fit because I wasn't drinking. I would be asked all the time, like, oh my god, like, I don't understand, why aren't you getting drunk? Like, why would you even go if you're not gonna drink? And I'm just like, I want an excuse to dress up. I want an excuse to feel pretty. I want to do something, But I remember, yeah, you do have to pay to join those. And, it was like, they were judgmental on other things too. It was the most stereotypical girl type shit you would ever see in your life. Just girls that wanted to shop. They just wanted to find a rich boyfriend. And they wanted to, like, watch, reality TV, and, that's all fine. I don't think that you're a bad person for liking those things. But what bothered me is that I was very openly into video games. And they'd be like, this was 2018, so they were like, oh my god, do you play Fortnite? My boyfriend loves Fortnite. And at the time I didn't, so I was like, no. They're like, oh my god, okay, I'd say, like, I like video games, and it'd be like, oh my god, I love Candy Crush. I'm like, that's cool. That's cool, dude. I was often excluded from stuff because I wasn't doing the exact same shit as them. They didn't like that I didn't vape, or didn't drink, or didn't have, casual relations with people. They really excluded me from stuff over that because my hobbies were seen as lesser or masculine. And so it's like, I think that's silly, like, their laws, I suppose. But it's just kind of like, hey man, my hobbies don't hurt anybody. It's okay for me to like video games as a girl. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing weird about it. Didn't grow out of middle and high school. Well, here's a little piece of life advice. Nobody does. The person you become in middle school, I would say 99% of the time, is the person that you're going to be for the rest of your life. And that's because, hang on. And that's because a lot of people are really, really, really resistant to change. People don't want to work on themselves. They want to tell you, you need to work on yourself, but not me, because this is my life and my experience, and the only experience I have to go off of is my own. Therefore, my experience is the correct one. And so, since a lot of those people have that kind of mindset, you can't blame anybody for, vouching for their own point of view. But I think life gets easier once you realize that, like, a mantra that I practice, and tell myself all the time. Hang on, I need water, holy shit. it's a sports game that you care about, or, you know, like a job interview or anything like that. But what you can do is control yourself. You can control the things that you do. Except for burping, obviously. You can control, you know, the things that you do. You can control the shit that you choose to interact with. You know what I mean? You're choosing to be here right now. You're choosing to listen to me right now. Nobody forced you to come here, you know? That was a choice. But you can't, if you're enjoying yourself, you can't force anybody to be here. I can't force you to be here. You know what I mean? I can't control that. If it was up to me, every person on planet Earth would be here. But I can't control that. All I can control is the fact that I'm doing it, and the fact that I mentioned it on Twitter and Discord and stuff. So, you know, when you're having a bad time with people, or if something's not going your way, just remember, like, let's say you're having a job interview, and, you know, you're anxiously waiting for the results. Remember that your best is enough, and that whatever happens, you know, it's not up to you whether or not you get the job. All you can do is give them reasons to pick you, but you can't guarantee anything. There's nothing that you can do to, like, make it a 100% certain thing, you know? Like, I'm trying to get that other job at my company, but, you know, I was told, like, oh yeah, like, it could happen before the end of the year. Oh, it depends on these things. Oh, like, you know, we've had mixed results, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, all I could do in my conversation today was tell them why I want the position, and why I'm passionate about it, which I'm not. I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? What I'm passionate about is this, right? It's vtubing. That's what I'm passionate about. But you know, all I can do is give them reasons to pick me. Whether or not they do is, you know, then up in the air. So I think that when you kind of cut yourself some slack and remind yourself, like, hey man, all I can do is my best, then it, like, weirdly takes some pressure off to be like, oh yeah, like, I don't have any control over what happens with this, so it's not worth it to me to, like, stress over it, because whether or not I stress over it is gonna have zero impact on the result. You know what I mean? Like, I find that that kind of mindset really helps me, and I hope that it could help you too. And yeah, that applies to opportunities, it applies to events, it applies to people. You can only control yourself and the things that you do, and the things, the energy that you put out into the world. You can't force anybody to do anything. Just like how, you know, technically nobody can force you to do anything either. Unless it's like, hey, you committed a crime, you have to go to jail now. Then I guess they can force you to do shit, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? If you don't want to eat broccoli as an adult, nobody can force you to eat broccoli. Fuck that shit. I sure as fuck don't eat it. No shade to anybody who likes broccoli. I know my mom loves it. It's just not for me, man. Not my vegetable of choice. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. It would be so cool if I could control this stupid ass fucking mic stand. I'm so serious. Okay. I might need to get a new one. I will say it is fucking destroying my desk. I mean, there's like, it's like chipping off the paint and stuff. It sucks. I have an Audio-Technica mic stand, but my actual mic is Rode. So I feel like maybe I should get a Rode mic stand. Like maybe it can withstand the weight. I can eat broccoli if the soup can carry. For me, I'm very sensitive to smell. So the scent of like cooked broccoli or like especially Brussels sprouts gives me a hideous migraine, like really, really bad. I can't do it. You know, my mom makes more of it now that I'm not home. I cannot deal with it. It's too yucky. Like obviously at a restaurant it's different because there are so many scents where it's just like it doesn't matter. And you know what's so crazy? It's not even like I have a like really good sense of smell. Like I often it's weird, right? I can smell like cooked Brussels sprouts and it's so strong it gives me a headache. But when it comes to like flowers, I can't smell that shit very well. I don't know why. Like if I want to smell flowers, I gotta get my nose in there, dude. Like in there. But hey man, whatever. Me who ate Brussels sprouts last night, do not come near me. Do not come near me. But anyways, I think flowers they sell in stores are just sprayed with perfume. I do not, because that is not what perfume smells like. Trust me, I spent a lot of time last year, like, well, not a lot of time, but I spent a decent amount of time researching fragrances, because I was going to my first ever off guy, and you know, I was gonna be meeting so many people for the first time, and I cared a lot about smelling good, and so I like smelled a lot of different perfumes, and a lot of them are gonna end up having like a chemical smell, you know, where it's just like not chemical, where it's like it smells like a science lab, but chemical in a way where it's like, yep, this is a perfume. Like, yep, this is a manufactured scent, not something you find in nature. I do have two scents that I love that are my signature scents, but would I say that either of them smell like an actual real flower? I don't think so. But you know, and you know what, speaking of flowers, to tie it back into positive affirmations, if you feel like, you know, if you feel like you're working towards something and you haven't found recognition yet, or if you just are like really wishing you could be given like a lucky break or something, I want you to remember that it takes time for flowers to be planted and grow from seed to bud closed up. And then when they're ready, they open up and they are all beautiful and shit, right? So if you feel like your moment hasn't come yet, that's because it hasn't. It's because your flower is still like developing its petals and it's not ready to show its beautiful colors yet. And that's okay. And if you're noticing that other people, their flowers are blooming more quickly than yours, they probably are a different kind of flower. Maybe, you're a daisy and they're a tulip, They're just different. And that's okay. Maybe you are a sunflower and they are a daffodil. You are a rose and they are a lily. Because another thing too is a reminder that someone else's success is not your failure. I want you to remember that always, because I have seen people forget this and it just destroys their self-esteem. And I just think, like, just because something happened for someone doesn't mean it can't also happen for you. It's just all about timing and being ready for it, because there's a good chance that if that opportunity came to you at that time, maybe you wouldn't have been ready for it, because you can always think, oh, I'm ready for this, oh, it's my time, blah blah blah, but you never know. You never know. There's no such thing as getting too much experience. There's no such thing as running out of lessons to learn. The world is so big, and there are so many different new things happening every day. You never know what kinds of opportunities are coming your way. You know what I mean? Like, there's always something that you can look forward to, and you just don't know it yet. I know for me, the things that I'm looking forward to right now are the release of the Switch 2, and Offkai. I can't believe it's already almost June. Something that's been getting me down a little bit is my weight, and I know that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but I had a situation where I was put on a medication in 2023, and the medication was not supposed to do this, but it made me put on 20 pounds in less than a year, which is pretty intense for someone of my height. I'm only 5'3", and we did find it was in fact because of the medication that I was on. And so I, in earlier this, late 2024, I was taken off of that medication, and now I'm on something else, and I've lost, I originally lost 15 pounds, but I've gained another 6, so I've only basically lost 10 pounds, and I've been really down about that, because last year I felt really self-conscious at Offkai. I didn't feel like I looked my best, and I've been sitting here thinking oh man, I really wanted to be in a better spot with my weight, and I'm not, still, like, I'm not ugly. You know? Just because I'm not where I want to be doesn't mean that the progress that I've made has been for nothing. I'm still healthier now than I was then, and that's still positive. That's still good. Even a little bit of improvement is, it's still improvement. So, I'm just kind of like, I'm much better than I think that I am, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. And I hope that you guys remind yourself of that too. You're always your biggest hater. 99% of the time is going to be yourself. Your biggest op, because, like, I think another thing to think about is that a lot of people focus on themselves. Like, a lot of people aren't gonna be spending a lot of time thinking about who you are, what you're doing, what you look like, because they're thinking about themselves and how they come off and how they look and the things that they're doing. And, so when everybody is so focused on their own shit, they're not thinking about what other people are doing. And if they are thinking about what other people are doing, it still stems back to a place of self-doubt. Secure people aren't gonna care about what other people think of them. So know that if somebody, like, if anybody ever comments to you about, like, how you look or, like, how you're doing something in your hobby, it's like, if they're being bitchy or negative or shitty to you, there's a very good chance that their own self-esteem isn't that great, and they're looking for errors in people that they see in themselves. Because it's like, think about it. Let's say you're like like, if you're a girl and you're like a 5 on the hotness scale, and a 10 calls you ugly, what is there to gain for the 10? Like, it doesn't make them look better. It doesn't make them sound nicer. It doesn't make them more appealing to talk to. So, like, if people are being hostile, they probably have some other shit going on, because that 10 probably is like a 2 internally. They've probably got some big time fucking issues that they don't want to work on, they don't want to confront. And let me tell you, if you're someone who has issues and you're confronting them and you're working on them, you are incredibly brave. And I'm not just like saying that. It's because, like, I know for me, like, I've had my own problems, and, like, sitting down and talking to yourself and being like, let's work on something to, like, improve my life. Let's work on things to be a better person. It's hard because, as I said earlier, people don't like change. People are scared of change. Why do you think everybody gets so upset over vtuber graduations? You know what I mean? People get upset because, like, they don't want that change to happen. They're happy with how things are. So, God, my stomach is like, my tummy is rumbly. I had soup before we started, but I guess I'll have to eat up another one after stream is over. But anyway, if you're someone who's confronting themselves. They're not gonna like what they see, and they'll feel like there's no point in trying. Like, you know, like, you can't save me, babe. I'm just a fucked up, twisted soul. It's like, shut the fuck up. People are malleable. Nothing is permanent. Like, if you're someone who is upset with like, how you look, guess what? You can change how you look. You can always change it. If you don't like your job, you can always work on new skills. You can research and practice new things, you know? But we're so comfortable in our ways, it's very intimidating to do that. So, for those of you who are trying new things and working on being better people, you're fucking warriors, dude. Because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to admit that you don't like how things are. Because, yeah, it's like then you have to come up with a game plan, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. But I promise you, like, if you are dissatisfied with your life in any way, taking steps to better it it's not easy, but you're gonna thank yourself for it. Because, like, being miserable isn't worth being being comfortable isn't worth being miserable. You know what I mean? Don't let yourself find comfort in misery, because it's just like, life is short. You don't have to. It is possible to find something you enjoy. It is possible to find true love. It is possible to laugh and make friends and think that things are funny. I know for me, there were many times growing up where I would just have a friend break up and cry in my mom's bed and just be so, like, sorry, Minna shook her head and she's washing her ears. I would stay in friendships as a teenager that were really hostile for me in different ways, physically and emotionally. And I would just stay there because I had the mindset of, oh, it's better to be in, have someone than be alone. And that's not true. I would stick with people that would hurt me, because I would think to myself, well, I don't know how to make other friends. I don't know how I'm gonna meet people, you know? And it's like every time I feel like that, I'm able to make new friends. I'm able to find my place somewhere else. And it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, the situations I was in 10 years ago are so different to what I'm in now. And I'm proud of myself for persevering and not giving up on trying to find a place in the world for myself. I'm sure a lot of you know, I tried to be a YouTube singer 3 times before becoming a vtuber. And I'd always give up because it wasn't successful. And it's so funny because, like, even now, I don't really consider myself to be that successful. And what's so funny about it is that if I had the numbers that I have right now, back in like 2015, I'd be a star, you know? it's like I persevered, right? Like, not only am I not giving up on singing, I didn't give up on friendship. And 10 years ago, well, I guess 9, when I was a senior in high school, I had my final attempt to be a utaite. And I had some really bad friends who were very discouraging to me about singing. Very, very hostile. They really wanted me to be a certain way that wasn't who I was. And they saw me as competition, and they wanted me to fail. And fast forward to now, I'm a vtuber, and I'm singing, and I have friends who go to bat for me, and they fight for me, and they get me opportunities. Well, they try to get me opportunities. Like, for example, like, I'm not trying to say that in like a nepotism way, but it's more like I have a friend who got me, like, she knows some people who are having like different concerts this summer, and she messaged me and she was like, hey, do you want in on this concert? And it's just like, I know that the concert organizers would never have considered me without my friend suggesting me. And it's like, there's nothing in it for her. There's nothing for her to gain from that. She's just doing it because she cares about me and she wants me to succeed. And that kind of thing, like, I'm not used to it. It's such a selfless thing. And if you told me 10 years ago that I'd have a friend like that, I wouldn't believe you. And mind you, my childhood friends are exempt from this, of course. I have childhood friends in the VTubing community. They were never hostile to me. They were never bad to me. Just so we're clear, I'm not talking about that kind of thing. Because with my childhood friends, we all kind of have our own thing going on. So that's like a different situation. But it's just like, I never would have thought that I'd be able to meet a new person and be encouraged and not seen as like she's not ashamed to be my friend because I'm less famous than her. She doesn't think of me as competition. She just is like, hey man, I really think you're a good friend and I like what you're doing and I want you to succeed because I know you do the same for me. And like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, no matter how you're feeling right now, like, if you feel hopeless, if you feel like things just never go your way or they're not ever going to go your way, I promise you, like, you have no idea what the future has in store for you. You know what I mean? It's just like, you just have to put yourself out there, and it's really scary to do. But like, you never know who people know, and you never know, like, I don't know, it's just, it's difficult to say, like, what can happen for you. Like, I feel more confident in my friendships than I have in a long time. Like, even with my childhood friends, like, we're closer than we've been in years. And that's such a beautiful thing. Like, there were months where, like, with my childhood friends, I wouldn't hear from them because so busy. Because the thing is with my childhood friends, growing up, when I had my hard times, they were older than I was. Like, you know, by several years. Like, my childhood besties are like 4 and 5 years older than me. So when I was having social trouble as a 16-year-old, well, they were 20 and 21. So they were just like, they had their own shit that they were taking a look at, you know what I mean? So they were always there for me, but in a very different capacity. You know, being a university student is very different from being a high school student. So, you know, but when it comes to friends, you know, that I've had outside of them, I've always struggled. And, you know, I think a word that I'm always hesitant to use is the word safe, because I feel like it's very, you know, I can say like, oh, I feel really safe with this person, and then it just like flips so quickly, right? Because going back to that idea of you can't control other people. You can never know what they're thinking either. You can never know what their intentions are. You just kind of have to trust, like, okay, we're gonna be on the same page. That's what I think. But truly, like, I just feel like I'm being heard and respected, and I didn't think that I would be, you know? And it's just something, you know, where I wouldn't feel this way if I didn't try. I wouldn't know if I didn't try. So I'm just very glad that I persevered and I tried, because the main reason that I tried VTubing was because it was COVID, and I was nervous because my childhood friends were VTubing, and I didn't have any way to meet people or make new friends. And so for it to be like, hey, like, you just had a huge birthday subathon where you had so many people show up for you, like, that's just such a special thing. I couldn't ever, like, I went from, you know, my 16th birthday, I didn't have any friends that wanted to hang out with me. You know, my 20th birthday, I had plans with a friend who blew me off because Sekiro came out that day, and they wanted to play that instead and didn't tell me. On one of my birthdays in middle school, My Chemical Romance broke up, and so all of my friends were mourning instead of caring about my birthday. You know what I mean? Like, I just had that my whole life. And then, you know, fast forward to now, my 26th birthday, 2 months ago. It's like I had a week-long subathon, and so many of my friends not only showed up for the subathon, but they participated in a group cover with me. And the ones who couldn't make it to the subathon still reached out and wished me a happy birthday, or we made it up later. You know, or, I mean, obviously, some people had circumstances where they could never go to begin with, but you get what I mean. It just is like, I had never felt that much love from so many friends before, and I never would have had that opportunity if I didn't, like, even if you are the most ass-kissing person on planet Earth, you could be the biggest yes man, the biggest hype man. You could do everything that people ask you to do perfectly. That's not going to guarantee that they're going to like you or that they're going to fuck with you or enjoy the things that you do. You should exist for yourself. Exist for yourself and for the people that truly give a shit. Don't worry about the people that, like, aren't there for you, truly. Because, you know, I don't know, you should just remember that life is too short to worry about what other people think forever. But I don't know, I'm just some guy on the internet. I'm just some guy that yapped for a long time. I might need to change the title of this stream. I don't know if I really whispered a ton of affirmations. Maybe I did. A lot of it was personal anecdotes, but I just want you guys to believe in yourselves, because if you're gonna believe in me, then I should believe in myself too. Deep lore and life lessons. Well, the thing is, what's so funny is that I don't think that I've shared anything tonight that I haven't shared before. I share a lot of personal anecdotes on Twitch, I think, but it's all about the context. I've never been shy about my social struggles, because I think, like, there are things that I don't want to share with you, little details, because it's not really your business, and that's not what the point is, right? But, you know, I think that there is merit in just saying, like, yeah, I've struggled with this thing, and it's getting better, because I think people need to hear it sometimes, you know? I don't think that it hurts to have a reminder that things improve and things get better, you know? I'm entitled to my privacy, so yeah, I mean, am I gonna tell you the full details of every single thing that went wrong for me? No, because that doesn't matter. But what's important is that, you know, just, I know, like, in my case, a lot of people have gone through worse. And, you know, since the only thing that I can control is myself, I don't want to stop working on being a better and better person. I know, like, growth as an individual isn't linear, but as long as the overall is still, like, on an upward trajectory, I think that that's still good. Like I said, you know, with my weight earlier, I lost 15 pounds and then I gained, like, you know, like 6 pounds. And it's like, okay, well, it's still a net positive, even if you went up a little bit. Like, you're still in a better spot than you were before. You're still healthier than you were before. So, like, you know, it's okay to have little setbacks as long as you keep pushing forward. Don't push too hard or else you're gonna get hemorrhoids like me. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to do this and not sound cheesy. But I almost feel like I vented this whole time. I did not intend to. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just doing this shit because I want to get watch hours. So, guys, my hemorrhoids are they're painless. They just kind of exist. A lot of people's hemorrhoids are painful and they bleed and stuff. Not me. It's just extra flush as far as I'm concerned. So, anyways, we've been here for almost an hour and 40 minutes. So, if you're watching the VOD, hopefully you have, about to drink water now. Good boy. But I'm assuming you're a boy. I'm sorry. I'm assuming the B in B spiral is for boy. But I don't know. Perhaps it stands for bitch. If that's the case, then I'm sorry, ma'am. But anyway, works for me. Yeah, so I hope that if you have fallen asleep by now, then, you have the video on loop so I can get those sweet, sweet watch hours, baby. But, you know what's so funny? I don't even know why I care, because I don't really stream here very much. It's not like I'm gonna open memberships, cause like, what the fuck would I do with memberships? I'd feel kind of weird opening memberships when like, I almost never stream here. I'm just streaming this because I haven't done it in almost a year. So I figured like, oh, I'll give it a try. But I don't know. Maybe I'll even unlist this video. I don't know. I feel like I get nervous sometimes, like, oh, did I share too much? Am I gonna get in trouble? I think I'm okay though. I think I was pretty vague. So, you know. Plus, I don't think a lot of people from high school are aware of my vtuber exploits. I think I'm safe. But whatever, they know who they are. My high school bullies. You want to hear something crazy? One time, one of my friends was mad at me because I didn't have acne on my face like she did. And I said to her, I get acne in my ears. So like when I try to sleep, sometimes it like is excruciatingly painful and I have like blood in my ears and you can't like squeeze the zit because, you know, it's in your fucking ear. Like I tried to explain that, but it wasn't good enough. I'm like, okay. What am I supposed to do with that, dude? Like, now that's a real vent right there. So, to that girl, if you're seeing this, you know who you are, bitch. And I think that was a crazy thing to complain to me about. It's okay to complain about your skin, but what do I have to do with it? I've been here too long. You know, it's funny, I actually have to do my IRL job. So, rip, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna probably have some more soup, and then get to work. But if you're going to bed, I hope that you have sweet dreams. Take all of the negative shit that I said and throw it out the window. Just focus on the positive stuff.